Welcome, everybody, to another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.
Here from the Top 10 Show, I'm John Roca.
And I am Matt Nose. This is a show that we do each and every week for our patrons over at patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10. So head over there at $5 and above. You can participate in this show. And how's it work, John?
Well, the way it works is you are patrons, and at the $5 and above level, you get to send in questions, thoughts, and comments that you want us to respond to, us to answer, us to ruminate on, us to pontificate on, us to go into wild tangents on. You send them all in. If you go to patreon.com/the top 10, you can sign up there at the $5 and above level. You get to send in stuff. Everybody gets to watch the show, but you get to be interactive with the show if you sign up at the $5 and above level. And so we're going to read as many of these within about a half an hour block that we can and get to. And sometimes it's one or two questions. Sometimes it's 4 or 5. You just never know. So, yep. Matt, let's do it.
All right. Starting us off this week is Nicholas Baldwin.
Oh.
It says, hey, guys, wanted to help out as much as quote unquote Machine Gun Lemke, but I am not nearly as creative. So with the help of Aaron, parenthetically 1997, I want us all to get closer through science to you both. To that end, the first of many questions to come. First one, when did you last sing to yourself? When did you last sing to someone else? Love what y'all do. You inspire and entertain me on a regular basis. Thanks and keep it up. Sent from his iPhone, Nicholas Baldwin.
Okay.
When was the last time you sang to yourself?
What is Aaron 1997?
No fucking idea.
Is that a movie?
I don't, but then is it an album since he goes to a song?
Oh, maybe it's an album. You're right.
I am looking it up.
I don't see anything of note.
I see sensory processing sensitivity, the experimental generation of interpersonal closeness.
Hello.
I mean, just by searching Aaron 1997.
Let me see. Aaron.
Yes, sensory processing sensitivity.
What is it? Okay.
It is a genetically determined temperamental or personality trait which is present in some individuals and reflects an increased sensitivity of the central nervous system and a deeper cognitive processing of physical, social, and emotional stimuli.
Nicholas, is he trying to fucking dissect us? Is he trying to analyze us?
This very well could be his profession, and he sees this in either both of us or one of us. Who knows?
Who knows?
But why don't we go to the actual question, which was, when was the last time you sang to yourself?
Probably last night, knowing myself. Usually, and this morning, I like to mess with my my girlfriend now that we kind of work from home. And every once in a while, I'll wake up with an earworm song, and then I'll sing it just casually in the kitchen to her when we're making breakfast or whatever. And it irritates her to no end because then it stays in her head until like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So it's not all the time, but every once in a while. So this morning it was Britney Spears. I Did It Again. So I just calmly kind of sang it as I was mixing my eggs this morning right next to her. And she was like, "You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch."
Yeah.
So there it is.
There's so many of those songs that just get stuck and you're like, there it is. There it is. It's there for a while. I know after we watched Hamilton, I was singing, and you say the price of my love is the price you're willing to pay. And I would sing it to myself around the house. And every time she'd be like, fuck. And because then now it's in her head and it's a good song. It's a great song. It's my favorite song of the entire piece. I think it's just because it's so anomalous given the rest of it. It sticks out.
Yeah.
But I make up songs. That's how I sing to myself. Sometimes I sing like actual songs, but I make up songs to whatever I'm doing.
Oh, wow. Do you have an example?
Whatever. Do you have clutter over there? Well, then if the dog is in the room and I'm picking up clutter and be like, yeah, we're going to go over here and pick up some clutter. And I just like do something. I don't know. I do songs for all kinds. It's entertaining. Why not?
You got to do something.
Got to do something. I used to, when I took Spanish, I used to narrate whatever I was doing around the house in Spanish. Well, to teach myself so that I'm constantly
Right.
using and thinking about, oh yeah, this is the word for this and that and the other.
Were you
Uh,
Matthew or were you Mateo when you were
I was
saying?
Matthew. I'm
Okay,
not some pretentious asshole. Excuse me, please call me Mateo. I'll call you prick is what I'll call you. That's I remember when I was a kid, my sister took French for like 2 years
Oh, yeah.
outside of school. She just wanted to take French lessons. And in French, it's Machu.
Right.
So she would
okay.
drive me nuts because she was like 8 and I was 9, you know, and she's like, it's not Machu. Shut up. Just the stupid.
I'm an American. You say it in English.
Well, I hate it because then she would do the stupid kid taunts. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She'd act like she was sneezing and then say Machu and then just like stare at me. Uh-huh. I got you. My brother used to, in front of my friends, he would call me sweeties and then try and give me a kiss on the cheek. As an adult, that's hilarious. When I was a kid, I fucking hated it.
Of course.
Of course. All right. Bye, sweeties. In front of my friends. Why does he call you sweeties? I don't know. I still remember once he came in for a soft kiss. I was like, oh, be damned. If that doesn't make me laugh now.
I don't know why. Let's go rob a liquor store.
Yeah, just
the
10, whatever, 11 years old. Why did he call you sweet? I don't know. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? I hate it.
You just beat up the kid near you.
Yeah, exactly. Take out my aggression on somebody my own size. I just can't do anything about it. Just push down my friend. What
do you care? Oh man, yeah, my brother and my sister used to have a nickname for me. It drove me nuts. They used to say it all the way until I was like fucking in high school.
Which was?
Tatita is what it was. Tatita.
Well, it means little something what?
Yeah, I don't know what it means. I've never known what it means, nor have I bothered to even fucking find out.
Tatita? You don't know?
Yeah. No idea what that means. But it was just like something that drove me insane. And they would do it. And as I was trying to establish myself, you know, in those in those middle high school years where you're trying to establish yourself as like, you know, a guy who could, you know, be somewhat attractive to somebody, having your brother come up and go, hey, Tatita, really loud in the fucking halls is not a positive situation for sure, especially when there's not a lot of Latino kids in the school, you know.
But it's not based on like a slang of something tati.
I'm telling you right now, I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I've never bothered to find out.
Okay,
I just hated it. That's all I remember. And in fact,
it's understandable.
When we were at the Padres game the other night, and Fernando Tatis came up, I was just like, just hearing them say Tatis, I was literally like, I had the facial tics or whatever, just a little bit, man. So yeah, not a big fan of it for sure. Anyway, all right. Anything else on this one?
No.
Okay.
If that is Nicholas, if that's what Aaron 1997 actually is, which we found, let us know.
Yeah.
And also if you think we have that, because for being psychologically analyzed from afar, I guess it's not surprising.
Yeah. It took 6 years, 5 years for them to finally do it. So,
well, for someone to clinically do it, I'm sure others have done it in other regards, but
sure. I'm sure they've had conversations about our mental balance,
potentially well-being.
Mental well-being. All right, we got one from. Do you want to? Lemke's got one, but Lawrence Witt's right above him. Should we jump Lemke, or do you want to do do you want to do Lemke's?
No, let's go ahead and do it.
Okay. All right. This is from Chris Lemke again. It says, John, Matt, hello. So I wanted to get your opinion on something that kind of falls through the cracks when talking what comes out year over year, about what comes out year over year. Special programming like stand-up, performance art, magic shows, anything like that. This year, we've already had Derek Del Gaudio's In and of Itself, Bo Burnham's Inside. But recently, we've seen Darren Brown, Middle Ditch, and Schwartz. John Mulaney and Chappelle has often done these with his Block Party and 846. Has there been anything that's really stood out to you, either historically or more recently, as these things you seek out, or am I just still the sad theater kid looking for acceptance? I'll hang up and listen off air. Hey, Lemke, you got to do a better job on these, my man. There's some words missing from some of these sentences, so I hope I got your meaning of what you were trying to say. Try not to talk and email at the same time. I'm just letting you know right now. But I love you, man. Just do a little better job here. Matt, has there been anything that's really stood out to you, either historically or more recently? And are these things you seek, or am I just still the sad theater kid looking for acceptance? Is he trying to say like? Are these things you like? Maybe.
Like to seek out to go see. So the special programming, stand-up performance art, magic shows, anything like that. Mm-hmm. Like, do you miss, I'm assuming this is all, do you miss being able to go see stuff live?
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
I think that's the overall gist of it. And hell yeah. Don't you?
Well, sure. I mean, but I didn't really go see comedy concerts live, right? That's never been something that I necessarily felt an inclination to do. I've been in some comedy clubs and listened to people, and it's been fun, but I've never necessarily had. But watching them on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, certainly. And I do appreciate the ones that go that extra mile. And I would even argue it was even better before you could do it on television. Like to try to do performance piece on cassette that is like recorded audio from something you did, I think is actually pretty incredible, because then you as the viewer are listening to the scenarios that are being played out as they're being performed. Yeah.
You're making a case for the Jerky Boys then, is what you're saying. You got that that tape and you conjured Saul in your head. So I should break all my shoes and glasses. Pounds, baby. Talking about pounds. I listened to those. I thought that first one was genius, and then I got burnt out. I couldn't. The people that still listen to it after that, I was like, I don't get it anymore. But
yeah, come on, Sizzle Chest.
Exactly.
I remember that one. Sweetheart.
I love that. And the snake bit me in my eye. And that guy, the snake charmer. There's no way that gets made today. But
my God, no, there's no way that gets made today.
Well, it was an underground thing, so it totally could.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But yeah, any of that, like Magic Castle, I am jazzed to go back to the Magic Castle. Although I think that's definitely one that's you need to only go every couple of years, personally.
Yeah.
Well, it just so one night, a friend of mine I know actually a couple comics that are also magicians. And I went one night when he was like, hey, I got a night out if you want to come hang out, and I can basically sneak us into all the rooms and you can see as many shows as you want to.
Nice.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It was me and Catherine, and we were like, sure, let's do it. And we went, and the thing is, by being able to bounce around, which normally like you have to get in at a specific time and you're waiting in line and all that stuff, so you only see like a couple, quite a few of the same tricks get used over and over. So then you can start comparing techniques between guys.
Right.
But it's just like you start to see behind it's a fucking magic trick. But if you see three dudes in one night do the same magic trick, it's still cool, but it's like, this is just a practice learned skill.
Right.
Which of course it is.
Right.
But I haven't put in the hours, so I don't know how it works exactly. So I still like the artistry of it.
Right.
But yeah, do that, all kinds of different live stuff. Who isn't sick of sitting at home not being able to do diddly shit? True.
I mean, I haven't watched Bo Burnham's Inside yet. Everyone tells me how great it is. I'm not a middle ditch guy, so I'm not necessarily, but I like Ben Schwartz. So it's a weird, I don't know if I'll watch that necessarily, but I don't know. Mulaney's stuff's always been good. Chappelle's 846 was excellent. That's for sure. And I was wondering if he was going to do an addendum to that now that they adjusted the actual time to be in 9 minutes and something else, if he was going to do something like that. But did you like I just saw you I heard you react to the Bo Burnham's thing. So you didn't like it that much?
It's an art piece. So if you view it as an art piece, it's interesting.
Okay.
But it doesn't elevate above. Oh, that's interesting. It's an interesting concept. well executed. Like it just didn't resonate with me, but
Yeah.
it clearly did with the vast majority of everyone else.
Yeah. People talked about it constantly.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But I don't think I'd ever watch it again.
Gotcha. Okay. I remember when I was growing up listening to stand-up comedy on cassettes, right? Like David Brenner had an album in the 80s, mid 80s, and it was sketches combined with stand-up, right?
Sure.
So he'd do stand-up set. And this was like, I think a number of people did this. He'd do a stand-up set, then it would kind of fade. You'd hear the laughter kind of fade. And then you'd hear David Brenner, when I was 16 years old, living in Philadelphia. And then you'd hear somebody walking down the street and he'd be having these conversations and you hear somebody doing his dad's voice or so. So it was it's an interesting mix of sketch with stand-up.
Stand-up.
Yeah. And I know that, and Billy Crystal kind of did the same thing on his first album as well. And then did that whole thing where he went to Russia to explore his like roots and whatever, and also was doing stand-up in Russia. So to me, those things kind of stood out as interesting ways to kind of push the art form of a stand-up set or a recorded stand-up set. Because obviously I'd watched Richard Pryor and Eddie and Carlin, and they didn't necessarily do those kinds of things. So this was a new way to kind of open the door to an interesting approach. So the legacy is certainly there in comedy to do it that way for sure. And I think Dice did that with The Day the Laughter Died. Like that was I know people hate him and I totally understand why people hate him, but The Day the Laughter Died is like one of the most divisive stand-up sets you're ever going to listen to. And it is just him just fucking trying to destroy everything he built. And it's a fascinating listen. You know,
it is. And it's like a feather in Dice's cap that he actually decided to put that out.
Yeah, right? Not many comics would do that, man.
Fuck no. Of me losing the audience and trying to win them back, but intentionally so.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting, that's an art piece that I can respect. He made a choice, and fuck if he's not going to try. Yeah, so I like that one. I've never heard the Crystal or Brenner. I don't much care for either of their stand-up.
That's fair, dude. That's fair. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, there's so many different flavors. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I've never really laughed.
Yeah.
But mine is all over, the spectrum of who doesn't love Chappelle, but like listening to the album I've listened to the most is Regan's first one, Brian Regan.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the things like I bonded with comics and other people just saying like random things like bag of dirt or the big yellow one's his son. I made a lifelong friend by offhand quoting something of his, and he looked it over and he was like, "Hey, I know that." But we've been friends ever since.
His dumb face is the best. His dumb face is the fucking best.
Only he can pull off the bits he does. It's really impressive, at least to me. It's the only one that I allow this really over the top stupid character.
Yeah.
Because there's no way he's that befuddled. But I'll be damned. Yeah, he's always stuck with me.
Gaffigan is one that I can't like. I think objectively I can look at Gaffigan and go, this is a funny guy. This is a smart stand-up comic. He understands his audience. He tailors his humor to his audience, and he's certainly a great observational comic. But I would watch Brian Regan over Gaffigan any day of the week. And I don't know why I don't feel more of a connection to him, because I think he's also a damn good actor. There's just, I'm not running to watch or listen to any of Gaffigan's stuff, but I respect it,
Sure. Once again, it's, 31 flavors.
Yeah. Right.
Right. I'm a big Gaffigan fan, but I understand the people that make the comparison between the two.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been getting into some Australian stand-up that's on Amazon Prime. There's a couple of women who are Ann Edmonds and I think Celia Pakula, I think is how you say it. Those women are fucking hilarious, and their stand-ups on Amazon Prime is like an hour each, and they are hilarious. And I never even would have even considered it, but we were just like flipping channels and stumbled upon that, and both of those stand-up sets are great. So I mean, if you guys are looking for something,
maybe I'll check them out.
Yeah,
Can't say that I've seen them.
I tried the Jimmy Yang one. I just I was done after 20 minutes. I didn't think it was that. So I tried.
Oh Yang?
Yeah, Oh Yang. That's it. Yeah, Oh Yang.
Okay.
Just didn't work for me.
Well, so we're friends, so I'm gonna let him know.
Well, I apologize. Please, you let him know.
I will let him know.
I'm sure he's gonna give a shit. Yeah, but please let him know.
I haven't talked to him. It's been probably like a year since I talked to him. So
really?
it'd be good. Check in with him and tell him, hey, a buddy of mine didn't care for your stand-up. How you been? How was your COVID?
Sorry, guy. Oh, well, Donald Glover is good with his stand-up. That's the stuff he's kind of hit. All his stand-up, I think, is kind of performance piece stand-up. So combo. I like his stuff a lot.
I can't say that I've seen a full
really? Okay.
special. I watched like 15 minutes. I've seen a lot of comedy. So there's a lot of specials where I've seen 15 minutes of it.
Yeah. There is so much.
Yeah, there's so much. And if you don't grab me, like at that point, I'm just holding on to do one of 10 different things as I'm watching.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm not tuned in. I'm either trying to guess the punchline or whatever that individual's going to try and segue into or whatever. I'm dissecting at that point. I'm not invested. Right. So it turns into a job. So yeah, Glover's I've watched about 15. It was all right. But it's the difference between me and you and just damn near anyone else.
Yeah.
I've seen, tens of thousands of sets.
Yeah.
If you just sit around, but after doing it for so long, it's like I've seen a lot of jokes. I've seen a lot of jokes. I've seen the same joke numerous different ways. So sometimes you're like, yeah, that's good, but I can also reference 3 other people that do something similar, and his or hers is the best.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Thanks, Lemke, for that one. What's our next one, brother?
Next one is from Lawrence Witt.
Ew.
And says, hi guys, hope you are both well and thanks for the ongoing content. Always great and still a great distraction to what's going on in the world. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, serious question time. Oh, that beginning wasn't serious? Okay. What is your game plan if and when a zombie apocalypse breaks out? Are you a fighter? Do you hide away? Still with the military, etc.? Or I guess maybe join the military. I believe Lawrence is English. Yes, that's what the suffix on his email address is. So maybe still with the military means join or be with the military.
Right.
Who knows? Anyway, what are you doing? You fighting, you hiding, you running? Fight or flight, buddy. Fight or flight.
It's a good question. I guess I'd have to, obviously you fight initially. You hope you find people that you can create a crew with and, somehow just figure out how to survive. But I think eventually, I don't want to get eaten by zombies. So I think I'd fight until I couldn't fight anymore. That's for sure. But yeah, that would be my approach, get with a crew, figure out tactics, figure out how we get through this, blueprints, all that jazz. Who's in charge of what? Who's supposed to do what? I think that would be my approach to everything for sure overall for me personally. So, and no, I would not rejoin the military because I was in the military and there's a lot of conflicting directions you can go in when you're in the military. So I would rather just stick with some of the people that I know that I trust to be able to fight through this thing. So yeah, that would be what about you?
What? I assume you're going to have to fight anyway, but
at some point,
run until you figure out what this is. Run because otherwise you're going to more than likely lose. The odds are against you. So you need to find a rally point, regroup, and figure out what the fuck just happened. Like seriously, if a zombie outbreak started, I am trying to figure out what the threat is, where it emanates from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, maybe I should find a bunker somewhere and figure this out.
Right.
But you're going to have to fight your way to get to wherever you're going anyway. So it's got to be a combo to me of the two. But primary directive is let's get to somewhere safe first and figure this out. Oh, it's just the end of the world? Great. Okay, so I have no answer.
Okay.
That's where do you go though for a zombie apocalypse?
It's a good question.
Yeah. One of those island prisons would be good, like the one that are off coast as opposed to Alcatraz.
Yeah, because you can't imagine they're gonna, figure out how to get on a
swim?
boat or swim. Right, swim.
Yeah.
They could probably walk though. Would they die? Would they drown? See, the thing is,
I don't know. Does it
All
turn
we
into
know
like
is
a
from the
Pirates of the
movies.
Caribbean?
right?
Yeah.
All we know is from the movies, right? So are they? Well, what's the truth? Would they still have the human limits of a human body, or would they be able to do the things that we've seen in the movies, where they can, walk underwater for extended periods of time until they get to that point? Do they have hyper?
Yeah. Do they need oxygen?
Right. Do they need oxygen? Exactly.
That's my first question. This is what I'm doing in my bunker.
right.
It does taking away oxygen kill them? Okay, let's find out. Let's run some experiments.
I think that's
Let's go
always
capture
been
a couple zombies.
that's always been my let's do some experiments. Let's pull a Will
Exactly.
Smith.
That's what I would do. Hey, look, I realize this is cruel and torturous, but they're not human anymore.
You're already dead. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's like, I don't think the ethical standard by which we would normally judge this applies in this scenario. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to drown this one and see what happens. All right, let's light this one on fire. What does fire do to it? Got to find out.
Just writing down your findings. Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Because
Does it have a nut allergy? Let's throw some cashews at it.
already got an allergy.
Just do whatever you can, man. I'll try it all.
Process of elimination.
Exactly. Crosses.
Crosses.
What works? I don't know what works. You're fine with me throwing cashews at it, but somehow bringing a religious element doesn't jive well with you.
Well, I can understand. Nobody starts burning from a cross except vampires. So it would be weird. I don't know.
Do you know what this thing is?
I don't know. You're right. I
is.
have no idea. You're right. Maybe a cross would work.
Yep. Silver bullets, fucking cyanide, elderberries, like just grabbing random shit. What works?
This is what I've always had the issue with zombies, because it's like the brain is still the brain. So the brain still needs what it needs. So in essence, you are still alive. They call them the undead. So they are still alive in essence. They're just because they're not fully dead, but they are. So what's the level of responsibility you have to a zombie? And if a zombie doesn't eat after a certain while, does the zombie die? Because it
has to.
Right. If you can't nourish the brain, eventually it will die,
Well, just from physics has to take over at some point. They need to be burning energy of some kind.
Yes.
If they are going to subsist, you've got to have a transfer of energy somewhere. Right. Otherwise, they're just going to wither away. And yes, if they don't eat, they have to die. There's no way unless somehow oxygen is actually their lifeblood. That's all they need to subsist. And then the rest is just fun.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem right. So
do they poop?
Yeah, there's zombies. They don't eat. They're dead. That's definite.
Yeah. Do they poop? Is there zombie poop? Is there pee? Zombie pee?
It's got to be.
These are questions I have.
There's got to be. Someone pointed out that vampires must shit blood. And I was like, oh, I never even thought about that. And just this black, gooey mess everywhere. Oh, oh man. Does that mean that the vampires that are like 1,000 years old, they have to sleep with Depends on?
You broke me, man.
I never thought about it. Somebody said it in passing to me, and I was like, oh my God, the implications of that. Yeah, it's taking in a bunch of blood. It can't piss. That's too thick. It would have to shit it out.
On the next season. On the next season of What We Do in the Shadows.
Where's the outhouse, guys?
Wow. So, it's a great point. Maybe so.
Yeah,
wouldn't they piss blood too? Because they're drinking so much of it, they'd have to piss blood too.
Well, they piss out the water from the blood, but there's still a bunch of proteins, and there's no way your kidneys are going to process like hemoglobin and shit.
I don't know I don't know what a vampire's body does.
I don't know the physiology of vampires either, but I know human physiology, and I don't know. Perhaps your kidneys could process hemoglobin, but some of that shit's going to have to go through your intestines.
That's true. All right. I think this is a good place to stop.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Thank you all so much for sending in your questions here for us to answer and talk about and discuss. Thank you to Lemke. Thank you to Lawrence Witt. Thank you to Nicholas Baldwin for those questions. We appreciate it. And if you want to take part in this situation in this show, Matt, how do they do that?
You head over to patreon.com/the top 10 and join us at the $5 and above level, and you can send in whatever you want us to talk about. And we do it every week for you guys. And thank you so much for everybody that supports us over there. You can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost, and check out the show on Twitter at Top 10 Show, Instagram and YouTube. It is /the Top 10 Podcast with the number 10.
Yeah, definitely follow all those things on social media, for God's sakes, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram, and the Outlaw Nation on Twitch now. I've been doing that for 7 days straight. I am now an affiliate, so come aboard. If you don't know that I'm on Twitch, come aboard and watch me do stupid shit on Twitch. All right, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks to all the questions again. Thanks to being a patron of the show, and we'll talk to you next time on another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.